everything. It happens when we trust the intelligence of the universe in the same way that an athlete or a dancer trusts the superior intelligence of the body. Hence Lao Tzu's emphasis on softness. Softness means the opposite of rigidity and is synonymous with suppleness, adaptability, endurance. Anyone who has seen a Tai Chi or Aikido master doing not doing will know how powerful this softness is. Lao Tzu's central figure is a man or woman whose life is in perfect harmony with the way things are. This is not an idea, it is a reality. I have seen it. The master has mastered nature, not in the sense of conquering it, but of becoming it. In surrendering to the Tao, in giving up all concepts, judgments, and desires, her mind has grown naturally compassionate. She finds, deep in her own experience, the central truths of the art of living, which are paradoxical only on the surface, that the more truly solitary we are, the more compassionate we can be. The more we let go of what we love, the more present our love becomes. The clearer our insight into what is beyond good and evil, the more we can embody the good, until finally she is able to say, in all humility, I am the Tao, the truth, the life. The teaching of the Tao Te Ching is moral in the deepest sense, unencumbered by any concept of sin. The Master doesn't see evil as a force to resist, but simply as an opaqueness, a state of self-absorption, which is in disharmony with the universal process, so that, as with a dirty window, the light can't shine through. This freedom from moral categories allows him his great compassion for the wicked and the selfish. Thus, the Master is available to all people and doesn't reject anyone. He is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. This is called embodying the light. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? If you don't understand this, you will get lost, however intelligent you are. It is the great secret. The listener will notice that in the many passages where Lao Tzu describes the Master, I have used the pronoun she at least as often as he. The Chinese language doesn't make this kind of distinction. In English, we have to choose. But since we are all potentially the Master, since the Master is, essentially, us, I felt it would be untrue to present a male archetype, as other versions have, ironically, done. Ironically, because of all the great world religions, the teaching of Lao Tzu is by far the most female. Of course, you should feel free throughout the recording to substitute he for she, or vice versa. As to method, I worked from Paul Carus's literal version, which provides English equivalents, often very quaint ones, alongside each of the Chinese ideograms. I also consulted dozens of translations into English, German, and French. But the most essential preparation for my work was a 14-years-long course of Zen training, which brought me face to face with Lao Tzu and his true disciples and heirs, the early Chinese Zen masters. With great poetry, the freest translation is sometimes the most faithful. We must try its effect as an English poem, Dr. Johnson said. That is the way to judge of the merit of a translation. I have often been fairly literal, or as literal as one can be with such a subtle, kaleidoscopic book as the Tao Te Ching. But I have also paraphrased, expanded, contracted, interpreted, worked with the text, played with it, until it became embodied in a language that felt genuine to me. If I haven't always translated Lao Tzu's words, my intention has always been to translate his mind. Describing the indescribable, teaching the unteachable, pointing the way to the way. What does Lao Tzu think he is doing here? It can't be done. No way. Hence, Po Chu-yi, poet and stand-up comedian, wrote, "He who talks doesn't know, he who knows doesn't talk. That is what Lao Tzu told us in a book of 5,000 words. If he was the one who knew, how could he have been such a blabbermouth? That's the problem with spiritual teachers. They have to be blabbermouths. But their words are, in the traditional Buddhist metaphor, fingers pointing at the moon. If you watch the finger, you can't see the moon. How meticulous the great masters had to be. A monk asked Matsu, "Why do you teach mind is Buddha?" Matsu said, "To stop a baby from crying." The monk said, "When the crying has stopped, what then?" Matsu said, "Then I teach, not mind, not Buddha." The monk said, "How about someone who isn't attached to either?" Matsu said, "I would tell him, not beings." The monk said, "And what if you met a man unattached to all things? What would you tell him?" Matsu said, "I would just let him experience the great Tao." In fact, what a question. Still, for complicated minds, drastic measures are needed. Lao Tzu's book was written as a response out of grandmotherly kindness. According to the oldest biography, Lao Tzu lived for a long time in the country of Chu, but seeing its decline, he departed. When he reached the frontier, the guard said, "Since you are going away, sir, could you write a book to teach me the art of living?" Hereupon, Lao Tzu wrote his book about the Tao and departed. This is legend, but it is an accurate description of the way in which true teaching happens. He who knows doesn't talk, but words are no hindrance for him. He uses them as he would use gardening tools. When someone asks, he answers. Tao De Ching. 1. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness. The gateway to all understanding. 2. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Being and non-being create each other. Difficult and easy support each other. Long and short define each other. High and low depend on each other. Before and after follow each other. Therefore the master acts without doing anything, and teaches without saying anything. has but doesn't possess, acts
ای
but doesn't expect,
مردم، بهترین سخنان را به گوش هوش بشنوید و با اندیشه روشن آنها را بررسی نمایید. هر مرد و زن راه نیک و بد را شخصاً برگزیند. پیش از فرارسیدن روز آتشین همه به پا خیزید و در گسترش آیین راستی بکوشید.
by emptying people's minds and filling their cores, by weakening their ambition and toughening their resolve. He helps people lose everything they know, everything they desire. He creates confusion in those who think that they know. Practice not doing, and everything will fall into place.
Mas Deus já
The Tao is
arrumou
like a well, used
amor e astral, baranau, astral,
filled with infinite
Yeah.
possibilities.
astral, manau,
It is
barat,
hidden, but always present.
yakra,
I don't
chistis,
know who gave
and
birth to it.
me,
It is older than God.
پروردگارا بشود که مانند کسانی که جهان را
It gives
به
birth to
سوی
both good
تکامل
and
و آبادانی پیش
evil. The
میبرند،
Master doesn't take
از
sides.
بندگان
She
وفادار
welcomes both
تو
saints and sinners.
ای خداوند جان خرد
The Tao is like a
و ای
balance.
هستی بخش
It is
بزرگ،
empty yet infinite.
بشود که در پرتو راستی
The more
و
you use it,
پاکی
the more
از
it
یاری
produces.
تو برخوردار
The more
گردی
you talk of it,
تا زمانی که ما دستخوش بدگمانی و دودلی هستیم، اندیشه و قلب ما یک پارچه به تو توجه پیدا کند.
the Tao is called the Great Mother. Empty yet inexhaustible, it gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you.
Mas thou using story mananka
7.
vantage
The
Hakarim
Tao is infinite.
mananko
Why is it eternal?
wa
It will never know. Thus, it can never die. Why is it infinite? It has no desires for itself. Thus, it is present for all beings. The Master stays behind. That is why she is ahead. She is detached from all things. That is why she is one with
ای
them.
خداوند جان خرد،
Because she has let go of
هنگامی
herself,
که در اندیشه خود
she is perfectly
تو را
full.
سرآغاز و سرانجام هستی شناختم،
8.
آنگاه با دیده دل دریافتم
The Supreme
که
Good is like
تویی
water,
سرچشمه
which nourishes all things without
که
trying.
تویی آفریننده راستی و داور دادگری که
That people
کردار
stay.
مردمان جهان را
Thus,
داوری
it is like the Tao. Indwelling, live close to the ground.
Yet
In thinking,
name as thou
Come to the
hast
simple.
been,
in conflict,
thou's
be
child,
fair,
has
be generous.
shown thou's
In
child.
governing, don't try to control.
Wow, man and how
In work,
refuge
keep what you enjoy.
Yet
In family life,
I spent him
be
that
completely
thou
present.
wilt him.
And you are content to be seen for
Shall
yourself
thou now
and
child
don't compare.
sing tongues child,
Everybody will respect him.
yet thou but a name press out down your head.
Fill your bowl to the brim, and it will spill.
ای خداوند خرد،
Keep sharpening your
هنگامی
knife,
که در روز
and it
نخست
will blunt.
تن و جان آفریدی و از منش
Except
خویش
for money,
نیروی اندیشیدن و
your
خرد
heart will
بخشیدی،
never unclench.
زمانی که به تن خاکی
Care about
روان
people's
دمیدی
approval.
و برای انسان نیروی کار کردن، سخن گفتن و رهبری کردن به ارمغان
Then step
آوردی.
back.
خواستی تا هر کسی به دلخواه خود و با کمال آزادی کیش خود را برگزید.
Can you coax your mind from its wandering and keep to the original oneness?
Ikaw,
Can you let your body
ay
become supple as a newborn child's? Can you cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but the light?
Through joy, a
Can you love
child,
people and lead them without imposing their will?
Yea,
Can you deal
let's
with the most violent others by letting events
Freudy.
take their course?
Through joy,
Can you step back from your own mind and thus understand all things?
and one para
Giving birth and nourishing,
Vayo
having without
Dush
possessing,
Quarantine Now
acting with no
Cyclopen
expectations, leading and not
Evolved
trying to conform.
Yo
This is the supreme spiritual
Deji Artebio
11.
Anawich Au
You
Manahi
join spokes together in a wheel,
Aku
but it is the center of all that makes the wagon move. We shape clay into a pot,
ای مردان،
but it is the emptiness inside that holds
کوشش
whatever we
کنید
want.
به این حقایق توجه داشته
We
باشید.
hammer wood for a house,
از دروغ
but it is the
که
inner
همان
space
زندگانی
that
مادی
makes it livable.
و وسوسه انگیز است پرهیز
Do
کنید
not be
و از پیشرفت ریا و فریب جلوگیری نمایید. پیوند خویش را با دروغ بگسلید و بدانید که آن خوشی و سروری که از راه نادرست و بدبختی و بیچارگی دیگران به دست آید جز رنج و افسوس چیزی به ما نخواهد آورد. و تبهکاران و دروغ پرستانی که در پی تباهی درست کردارانند به راستی زندگانی معنوی و آرامش روحی خود را از بین خواهند.
13. Success is as dangerous as failure. Hope is as hollow as fear. What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shifted. If you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance.
I just want to know dirty off, 'cause I don't care.